Thing's about dead. It's all right.
There's a 1978 International 574. It has 201 cubic inch displacement. And then 5 years ago I converted it to run on wood gas. I used a Mother Earth News design again. And this was like the fourth one I built. And so it was really fairly simple, and the tractor conversion was a lot easier than a truck or a car. It just, you had a lot more room to work and so really simple plumbing on it. I made the unit modular again. If I take this first layer off, this is just the gas cowling, and this section here is the intake manifold and the hearth. And then I can reach in and pull the grate out and the restriction and reach the nozzles. It has 16 nozzles, and it's and the tubes run from the top all the way down into the gas cowling and then up through the bottom of the hearth. And then they put elbows on, and then this has a nozzle ring about 10 inches, 9 or 10 inches. And it has, like my pickup, each nozzle has 2 jets on it, one horizontal and one vertical. And the fuel hopper holds about 8 5-gallon buckets, and it'll go 3.5 hours on a fill. And I like this. I use this more in my pickup. It's got a 5-foot brush hog and a 4-foot tiller, and got a 5-foot wide bucket. It's as wide as a tractor anyhow. And then I can plow snow or scoop sawdust, and then it's got a set of forks. I can pick up lumber and move things around.
Don't forget your generator.
Yeah, got a 40 kilowatt continuous generator, and when the power goes out, I just go out to the shed, hook on the generator with the tractor, pull it up back to the house, back it up there, and start it up, and I can leave it, and it'll run for 3.5 hours. So.
Or like today, you know, you're running a little bit and then shutting it off and then start it up. What's it like to get it going again each time?
Yeah, well, if I run it just for 5 or 10 minutes, I'll just run on gasoline. Because it takes that long to start it up. You know, once you flare it. This is the condensate. It's got a moderator inside the fuel tank. Separate out a lot of the moisture. It's got one thing about the Mother Earth News. It has a lighting port on it. You screw the cap off, roll a piece of paper, slide it in there, and that's right about the nozzle height. So there's a layer of charcoal in there. You slip the paper in, light it. It takes right off seconds. Just and put the cap on, and then it's got the intake for the air is right here. It's got a check valve on it, and the air comes in, flows around this manifold, down the tubes, and up through the bottom of the hearth, and that's where the primary air is fed in. Any questions? It's rated about 65 horsepower on gasoline. So I don't know what exactly it is on wood, but it's enough. So.
Looks like it might weigh about 450 pounds.
Well, it has the refractory lining in it, and that adds 80 pounds. The same with my pickup. It's awful heavy. You know, it's heavy. You know, but the truck's already a heavy truck. But like this, it also adds quite a bit of weight, the lining. But it runs really smooth. You know, there's plenty of heat in there, and it's a big gasifier. You know, not with a 10-inch nozzle ring. You have a lot of volume of wood, you know, that you're processing, and I think the refractory lining and the 2 jets on the nozzles helps keep the process going and keep the wood gasifying. Any other questions?
Where are your filters and what are you using?
Okay. This is the the gas cooler. It goes from the filter through the cooler, up and down. The gas comes in, down, up, down, all the way through. And then I have a condensation drain at the bottom. There's 3 drains because there's 3 compartments in the cooler. That way the gas will work up and down. Then from there it just comes down. And then it's got an air filter up here, and the air filter has it had like a 2.5 inch, just a pipe on the side. So I put a throttle body on there, and then I have a line that I can control the air fuel mixer. After the throttle body, I just ran the line down and teed onto the wood gas, and then it ran it right into the carburetor. And I've never had any trouble with the carburetor gumming up because of the wood gas. It runs really good. And then on this side is my gas filter. I use fiberglass batting, the same thing in my pickup, because this is a hot dry filter. If I open this up, it'll be dry in there, and then the soot will be just like dust. I can take the filter medium out and shake it, the dust will just fall off. So if I would put hay in here, it might burn. You know, if it stays hot enough just for sparks, but I don't think it stays that hot. At one time I had a cyclone off the side of the gasifier, and it cooled it down too much. There was too much cooling by the time I got here, and there was condensation sticking to my fiberglass. But this works really well. Like I said, I've run it for 5 years. I run it fairly often around the shop and yard and things, so it works well. Any other questions?
You ever use this at work?
Oh yeah. I got a big beam. I got a log on it. I put a big log on this I-beam, hook it on the bump of the hitch, and I drag it around the yard, and it'll pull anything you want. It's got fluid-filled tires. That helps tremendously on traction and keeping the back end down. And like I said, I had a 4-foot tiller. I got a pretty good sized garden, and the brush hog I mow around the property. And once a week, we get fairly tall to keep the growth down.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ron.